You're listening to Loveline.
The world-famous K-Rock. Call Loveline. 1-800-LOVE-191. That's 1-800-LOVE-191.
Hi, I'm Angela.
Shark. Scott.
And we're the Wild Colonials, and you're listening to Loveline with
Adam Carolla. And Dr. Drew. And get a life.
Like a drunken Scotsman in here. I love the Wild Colonials. I don't know if you guys are hip to that band or not, but good music and real good people. All right, Mike Joyce and Annie Rourke are here from the Smiths, and they're here to talk, amongst other things, about the convention. Yep. After all, it's been 10 years since the Smiths have broken up, and you guys are in town. It's going to be on Sunday. Yep. It's going to be 2 p.m. to 11 p.m.
That's right.
And what's going to go on at this convention?
Well, there's numerous things.
Hold on a second.
Go on.
See that big bulbous thing?
Yeah, is that a microphone?
Yes.
Right, okay.
You've used those before.
Yeah. There's so many things going on there. I mean, just looking at the thing here, it's Elliot and Ray, the two guys that have organised this, have really put quite a good deal together. I mean, when I spoke to Elliot first, and he said about coming over, and I just thought, well, if we're just going to turn up and be there, then that's not really enough. We really need to, make it worthwhile for people to come down and have a good time.
Right, because there are quite a few Smiths fans, I'm guessing, especially in this area, but all over the world. And you guys haven't done anything like this before, right?
No, well, I went to one in Manchester. It was at the Hacienda, and I turned up there, and it was just a riot. So I didn't realise just how crazy it was going to be. So if it was going to be done on this kind of level, it had to be done with just more interesting things happening, really, than just somebody turning up and saying, I was in the band.
Right.
I don't think that justifies people paying good money.
Right.
To come and see me.
And they're having, speaking of you, they can win dinner. With,
do you know what the second prize is? It's 2 nights with me and Andy.
Now, let me tell you, I've never done anything like this, but I always picture it when they say, go backstage, hang out with the band, go out to dinner with the band, you'll be touring with the band, just like you're in the band.
They've got to pay for the dinner.
You guys really going to be sitting at the same table and talking to these people?
Well, maybe not. Maybe we'll be sitting on a couple of tables away, but, they can shout and then we'll let on.
Also, you're going to be auctioning off rare memorabilia.
Yes.
Now, what kind of, give us an example of a few things that you may be auctioning off on Sunday.
Well, I brought over a snare drum that I played in the Smiths. Mm-hmm. A track called The Boy with the Thorn in His Side. And it's just sitting there gathering dust, really.
Right.
And I thought, well, if somebody wants to have it, then go ahead,
Now, how do you know where to, do you start the bidding at something like that?
Well, that's something that we talked about today, because it's not really a money-making venture, although, I didn't come over here just for the fun of it. But it's not, the idea is not to, set out a market stall and just flog things, that wasn't the idea. I just thought that if somebody, these are the kind of things that, if I was, when I used to kind of be a big fan of bands when I was a lot younger, just kind of getting like a jacket off him or a plectrum off him or a pair of sticks off whoever,
right,
was quite a big deal to me. So the idea of owning, say like, because one of my big heroes is Charlie Watts from the Stones, if I had one of his snare drums, I'd
right,
so chuffed, and I think, maybe obviously not on the level of the Rolling Stones, but...
Well, yeah, but a big band, and if you're saying if you had Charlie Watts' snare drum, you would auction that off as well, right?
Yeah, no.
No, okay.
Not quite.
All right, so let's talk Smiths, the history for a second, if it's not too painful for you guys. First off, Morrissey, do you hate the guy's guts? You never want to talk to him again?
No.
No. Do you talk to him?
Yes.
What kind of guy is he? Is he the most bizarre guy in the world?
He's got black hair and he wears jeans, and he's just a very funny, clever, good songwriter.
Oh yes,
as you might have heard, he's just a good bloke, good person to be with.
But let me ask you this: is the people's impression of Morrissey is a strange, quirky, somewhat reclusive guy who's, abstains from sex and
that's me. That's me. That is.
That's you?
Yeah, I'm that one.
You don't have sex?
No. All
right, we'll get you laid tonight.
Not at the moment.
But the point is he as weird as that on a personal level?
No, I wouldn't say. Well, I don't know. Is that weird?
Well, he appears weird to the outsiders, yes.
Well, because I've known him since before the group started, I've probably had quite an interesting insight into
Right.
him. So, I mean, yeah, he's not a regular guy. He's not a regular bloke that you meet on the street. He's quite eccentric.
Right.
Eccentric.
All right, that's a good word. That's when you're weird, but you got a lot of money. You're eccentric, and when you're weird and you're poor, you're just crazy.
Yeah.
So that's how it works here in the States. That's how it works. All right, let's take some calls. You guys can jump in and help us out with some of these, and we'll be talking about the solo projects of Andy's and all sorts of other stuff as we move forward here. Cindy.
Cindy? She's on the phone. Listen. Cindy.
She's on, like, the other phone or the other line?
You could just about hear her on the extension.
Yeah. Oh, that's that.
What is this tonight?
What happened? Did the money run out?
Jason, 20, you're on Loveline.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment about a call that you had a little bit ago. You said the relationship wouldn't have worked anyway because he was 16 when they started.
That's right.
I'm 16. No, I was 16 when we got together. I'm 20 and my wife's 21. We have 3 beautiful girls.
3. Oh, it's doomed. Doomed, do you tell me?
4 against 1. It's not fair.
Completely happy.
Jason, we're just playing the odds that,
I understand that, and half the time I agree with half the stuff you say. And
all right, that's only a quarter, you moron.
But listen, it's not that people can't be happy or can't have successful marriages at a young age. It's just the odds are against you when you do that. And you're 20. You're still very young. At 35, this may look entirely different to you. We're talking about relationships that really do successfully last a lifetime. That's what we want to see.
How do you have 3 kids by the age of 20?
They're 1, 2, and 3 years old.
Oh.
Wow.
You got a job, Jason?
Yeah, I'm about to open my own business.
Oh.
Good lad.
What do you do, like a left-handed store or something that's going to fail miserably?
No, I install stereos.
All right, you'll make a killing.
Oh, thanks a lot.
All right, stop having kids, though.
I'm done.
That's quite enough. All right.
Good luck, Jason.
You guys married? Any children?
Yes.
Yes.
2.
2 children?
Yes.
All right, thought you meant 2 wives for a second.
And I've got 2 as well.
All right. And everyone's happy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know your children?
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite a novelty here on Loveline.
These guys aren't a rock band. They're imposters.
Yeah. What happened to the rock band? We thought we were going to have a band in here tonight. That's better. Yes, please try to vomit on Dr. Drew before the night's out.
Again.
Christina.
Hi.
Hey, you're 18. You're on the Loveline with the Smiths.
Yeah, okay, here's my story. I've been dating this guy for 8 months now, and we're really, totally...
Speak up, Christina. I can barely hear you.
Okay. Yeah, we're really serious about each other and everything, but he's got a problem. He's got, like, a little man syndrome, and, I don't know, he can be kind of...
Is he little or is his little man little?
Both.
Both?
Both.
Oh.
It doesn't bug me at all, and I used to try to tell him. I figured out now just bringing it up makes him feel bad. But
how does this manifest? How does this syndrome manifest? What are you observing?
Well, it's like he's into manly sports, but he's really feminine. And when he's around his guy friends that are all bigger than him, he just talks big, and it's really kind of annoying. And sometimes he's even mean towards me.
All right. How tall is this guy?
5'8".
That's not small.
Short.
Well,
And
Mike, how tall are you?
5'10".
like 5'5".
And by the way, a lot of guys do that sort of thing.
Get him some high
They're embarrassed at their feminine side, and around their male cohorts, they hide it and defend against it and overcompensate.
Exactly.
That's nothing to do with him feeling small. That's just what guys do with that.
I have no feminine side because I have too much hair on the front and the back side to actually have a feminine side.
But we should be more intimate by now, right? I mean, he should be more caring, but he acts kind of mean towards me at times. He'll talk down to me in front of his friends. He'll call me.
But always in front of the friends, though, right?
Yeah, and sometimes...
This is a bravado thing that a lot of guys have, especially when they're 18, 19 years old. They're trying to be cool with the blokes.
Yeah.
Joe Man.
Yeah.
And they put on a different. You ever see that movie Grease, Christina?
Yeah.
All right. Now remember that in that movie, John Travolta, he was all in love with Sandy, and then he got around all his buddies in the T-Bird gang or whatever that stupid gang he ran with.
Yeah.
And then it was a totally different guy, right?
Yeah.
And then he got away from him, and he was back to Mr. Nice Guy.
So I should put up with it. I should deal with it.
No, I'm saying you got to teach him how to sing. No.
Well, I mean, it's not exactly you don't have to put up with it. I mean,
Hold on, Mike.
It doesn't really sound like a real problem. I mean, it's like the guys were just saying then, it's something that I think most of us do, depending on what situation we're in and what scenario that is around us. It's...
And it takes a little while for guys to learn how to act and how to behave and the do's and don'ts of ladies. I mean, it really does. Lord knows. I mean, I'm 32, and I barely got it down now. When I was 18, 19, I was a mess. I mean, I just learned that farting on the first date is wrong, Drew. Can you believe that? Somebody told me that on the way in.
I think you're focusing on how he is around other people, though. What I'm concerned about is how he kind of keeps it up while we're just...
All right, well, you're just going to have to confront him in a non-confrontational way. Just tell him, honestly, what you think, and tell him it's because you like him and you want to keep the relationship going.
And if he is unable to put down these defenses, then it's not a relationship worth staying with.
Yes.
You're not going to get anywhere with it.
You cut him off sexually, he'll straighten right up. Drew, why don't you sell the hell out of the next song?
I was just going to talk to one of the fans of our guests.
Oh, yeah. All right, and we'll hear something from Smith's old and the solo projects as well when we come back. We're back. Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number, 310-854-4455. Sitting here with Andy Rourke and Mike Joyce of the Smiths. They have their 10-year memorabilia auction, dinner, and
general
clam bake going on. That would be this Sunday. That's February the 23rd. 2 to 11 p.m., and that is at Hot Rocks. It's 121 North Citrus in Covina. And you guys may not be familiar with Covina, but it is the garden spot of the United States.
Yeah?
No.
Good.
There's nothing going on there but your convention, but that's fine. You guys go in there, you make a few bucks, you shake a few hands, you sign a few breasts, and you're back over the pond.
Sounds good to me.
It's not a bad gig. All right, so what were we talking about during the commercial? The Doors and Jim Morrison. But what did you ask me right before I hopped up on this microphone?
Do what?
You asked me something right before I started.
It was about the Doors. About the grave.
No, yeah, Jim Morrison's grave in Paris.
In Paris.
Never been there.
Oh, they've got excuse me.
That's all right.
Flipping heck, they've got a police guard around it because people just come and just chip away bits of the stone every day.
Graffiti and stuff like that.
There's like a copper sat on the headstone there, like with his cigarette, and
right.
Just like trying to nick bits of soil and digging down and trying to get
Stonehenge.
Well, it's kind of interesting how some people just sort of remain musicians or songwriters or poets, and others become sort of deities. And I wonder...
Sorry, in the same graveyard, the Chopin, and like nobody gives
a now Drew's pissed. Chopin's in the same graveyard, no one goes over there.
Nobody
Do you see
gives
that?
a toss. Disgusting.
Well, let me tell you, if Drew went to the graveyard in Paris, he would be... he would put a...
I'd head over to Chopin.
You would, wouldn't you? And what would you leave there at the Chopin?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
No, sure.
Maybe just a little pride?
Just footprints and memories.
There you go. A demo.
All right, so, what, Drew, you're pointing?
I was erasing something because I thought you were going to the phones.
No. Oh, it is? Well, what the hell's at Hot Rocks? The producer Ann just told me. It's at the Pasadena Convention Center. What am I, going insane? What is that, Drew?
Yep.
I'm reading the wrong thing? All right, listen.
Tickets and raffles.
Okay.
For this convention.
All right, where's the Pasadena Convention Center?
It's on 300 East Green Street. It's near the Civic Auditorium by the Pasadena Mall.
Yeah, and while you're out in Pasadena, stop by Drew's house and pull a Brody on his lawn.
No, thanks. Don't do
vomit
that.
in his mailbox.
Do not do that.
And feel up the children.
Oh,
yeah. Drew hates that talk. All right, we'll take some calls and we'll get back and talk more Smith stuff and all that stuff. Teresa, 15, you're on Loveline with the Smiths.
Hey, hello?
Hiya.
Hey.
Hello, this is me and my friend JoJo. We're just calling to say we love your music and we respect it. We grew up with the Smiths. We have older sisters, and we've always listened to you guys.
You've not grown up yet.
We have a lot of feelings for your music.
Well, that's lovely to hear. Thanks very much. Are you going to come on Sunday?
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to be there. I got the tickets a long time ago.
Did you?
And I have one question for you. I really love your instrumental song, Oscillate Wildly. Is that how you pronounce it?
Oscillate Wildly.
Yeah. Oscillate, yeah, it's a beautiful song. I just want to let you know. We weren't sure how you pronounced it, though.
Oscar Wilde was a playwright.
And to oscillate means to go quickly
it's like
and
a
side
sound
to side,
that sort of warbles about.
All right, you're going to be there on Sunday?
Definitely.
All right, bring lots of money.
Okay.
right. Just playing it safe. Yeah, you know, the thing that strikes me about the Smiths, I've always been a fan of the Smiths, but it's a band that a lot of people get divided over. There are people that
love them or loathe them.
Absolutely, and it's not that way with a lot of bands. Like you take like
but I'd rather people were like that rather than just saying okay, yeah, they're all right. I'd rather have that kind of feeling, either instill hatred or instill masses of loveliness.
Absolutely, because it means you're doing your craft, your art, and when you're pushing the envelope a little, that's what it inspires.
Yeah, well, it becomes like a debate, a debatable thing. Because if Morrissey wrote a song where some of the subject matter was quite risque, well, you know, people would say, well, I think that's disgusting, or somebody else would say, well, I don't think it is, I'll stand up for what that is. But at least the subject matter is something that's worth a discussion. If popular music can't do it, what else can?
Absolutely.
That is my question to you.
Yeah.
No, and the Smiths are definitely innovators and definitely, I guess, ahead of their time in a sense, and made music that didn't sound like they were copying another band that came before them.
No.
All right, I'm done kissing butt. We're moving on. Brandy.
Hi.
You're 15.
I'm a virgin, and in the near future, I could have a chance to have a threesome, and I don't know if it's healthy for my first sexual experience.
Well, I think you should start with 4 guys. I mean,
are you coming to the convention?
No, it's 2 girls and 1 guy.
Really? Yeah. For your first time?
Yeah.
And then it's all downhill from there.
I think Brandy would be very disturbing for you. I mean, usually the first time for women is not the most pleasant experience anyway. And to have it to be such an overwhelming situation, I think would be very unpleasant for you. I think in general, threesomes are not a great idea for people. They end up being a big disappointment. I mean, some people have successful experiences with it, but it typically causes a lot of feelings that you don't anticipate having. And recognize, Brandy, that when you have your first sexual experience, you are going to be very emotionally connected with that person you have that experience with. And that's hardwired into women. That's what happens to you.
And let me tell you this. Your first time doing anything, I mean, your first time surfing, you don't go to the pipeline.
Yeah, it's got to be special.
When the waves are 20 feet high, you're going to get destroyed. I mean,
you don't want to be sharing it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you don't want to bite off more than you can chew. I mean, it's tough enough. Pardon the pun. Yes, it's tough enough just having a decent time out the first time out with one person.
Not a good idea.
No.
Well, is this something that you want to do? Is this? I missed the beginning.
She has an opportunity for it.
You have an opportunity. So is it something that you actually want to do yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm
Well, for the first, but you're still a virgin.
Yes.
But you want to do that for the first time. For the first time of having sex, you want to have a threesome.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just think, you know, it's try it with one first. It's pretty good fun.
Okay.
And you know what I mean? If you want to go on from there, then why not? But
yeah, but where do you go from a threesome at 15 as a virgin? I mean,
yeah, well,
also be aware. I mean, again, we are talking as men here, expecting young women to have the same experience with their sexuality as men do. Women have a wholly different experience, particularly at that age. It's much more emotional, much more connected, and can be much more troubling to them if they don't get the kind of emotional content back from the man.
Yeah.
Right. I, by the way, was speaking as a woman, and I believe Andy was too. So, Drew, do not assume. Carmine.
Yes, hello.
Hey, you're 24. You're on Loveline with the Smiths.
Yes, I am. Drew.
Yeah.
And Adam.
Yeah.
I just want to say first, you guys are the best. You have the best show ever.
Thank you.
And you're doing a great service. And second of all, I just wanted to call and talk to Mike and Andy and tell you guys that you guys are the all-time best band ever.
Thanks.
Anybody who doesn't like the Smiths has no taste. It's that simple. And the big question I'm wondering, just what are you guys doing now? Are you in any other bands? Are you doing solo stuff? And the bigger question, with the big reunion trend, is there any chance that the Smiths fans are ever going to see a original lineup reunion with Morrissey?
Well, to the last question, probably no.
Sammy Hagar is going to be fronting the band, but there will be a reunion. Yes,
that wouldn't work.
And the first question.
Yeah, and the second question: solo projects. Andy?
Yeah, I've started a new band with Gary Whelan, the drummer from the Happy Mondays, called Delicious. We had a CD which came out in England about 3-4 days ago.
And we're going to play something off it tonight, are we not?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we, can we play that now? Yes. All right, let's do that. This is great time. What's the name of the song we're playing?
It's called Sitting on the Throne.
And it's from Delicious, and it goes a little something like this. Sitting on the Throne from Delicious, Andy Rourke's new solo project from the Smiths. Also, we have Mike Joyce in here from the Smiths, and we'll be talking more to them after this. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Show's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew, Andy Rourke, and Mike Joyce are here tonight from the Smiths, and we're here to do a little plugging on the Smiths Convention. It's taking place on Sunday. It is the only one that you'll be having nationally.
Yes.
Correct, at least here in the States. And it is Sunday the 23rd. It is 2 p.m. to 11 p.m., kind of a long haul for you guys. And it'll be at the Pasadena Convention Center, which is 300 East Green Street in La Habra. No, it's in Pasadena. Just kidding. Seems strange to overstate that. All right. And, they'll be giving away raffle tickets. It says there'll be live Smiths music.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, live Smiths music on the video. Live in person, somebody putting in tape in and pressing play while we're there.
But it'll be, there's a lot of footage from...
there was a couple of tapes that I've got. One from when we played the Hacienda in Manchester with Johnny Marr singing backing vocals, the one and only time that occurred. And also there's a tape that we did, the sound guy that was working with us, a guy called Grant. He did
backstage footage, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just all us just kind of pissing around backstage and just messing around and having a bit of fun, really, rather than the official video.
But it's not the produced and edited stuff.
No.
But it's stuff that probably hasn't been seen before by people.
No, because it wasn't even released. It was just a personal copy.
It's a home video.
So
right.
Yeah,
so if you're a Smiths fan, you'll definitely find that interesting.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And if not, you may have a passing interest in it. Let's say you're just working the convention security. You might look at it.
Yeah, it's a long day, you know what I mean?
Kristen, 18, you're on Loveline.
Yeah, hi. To begin with, I wanted to say on behalf of my boyfriend and I that we both think your show is great.
Thank you.
And I had a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what occasional use of LSD does to the brain. You've mentioned it vaguely.
The reason I would be vague is that we don't really know at what point somebody would have caused a significant problem.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, what is the threshold after which you're likely to have problems?
Okay.
Certainly any use before the age of 15 is associated with chronic mood problems.
Uh-huh.
Certainly more than 70 hits of acid is associated with personality changes, problems with abstract reasoning, and chronic mood disturbances.
Uh-huh.
Whether 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 hits can do the same thing, we don't know.
And by the way, that doesn't mean you still can't be successful. Many guests we have in here on the Loveline, present company excluded, have had their bouts with drug abuse, and they're still selling lots of records and doing great. They're not quite sure where they are. You have to make a lot of money because once your brain goes, you need a bunch of lackeys to sort of point you in the right direction. Get on the plane, sit down. Here's a vomit bucket. Yes, inhale. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Now exhale.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, it's tinkle time. But they still get along just fine.
Why, Kristen? What's up?
Oh, not much. I just, you've mentioned it vaguely before, like I said, and I was just wondering, I've used it occasionally, like once every couple of months, and not...
Yeah, I would beware. Yeah, if you use it once or twice, you're probably okay. Using it regularly, you're probably not going to be okay.
I sort of did it early doors, as a youngster, and I found it does frazzle the old brain cells.
It does.
Yeah, and the other thing is some of the manifestations don't even develop until 10 years later, particularly the mood stuff.
How old are you now, Andy?
I'm 33.
Mm-hmm.
30 several.
And you did it, you experimented a little when you were...
16, 15, 14, 15, 16.
Really?
Yeah.
And how many times would you say you've done acid or mushrooms?
Mushrooms, oh God, I did it every day for about 3 or 4 months, and at the end of it, I had a stutter, I couldn't speak at the end of it, so I thought,
right.
Call it a day, so.
But you're clear and level-headed now?
Oh, yeah, I'm happy.
Relatively?
Yeah.
As much as it takes auction off memorabilia. Here's my theory on drug abuse. I know Drew can't stand this, but listen, if you're sort of what you call like a 40-watt bulb, don't mess around with it. If your light's a little dim in the first place, it's going to get a little dimmer. Yeah. And here's what I think drugs do. I think they take bright people and they dumb them up a certain degree. Now, Timothy Leary had 180 IQ, so now he does a bunch of LSD, and he has 135 IQ. Still a smart guy, just not a genius anymore. But the problem is there's a lot of people out there with a 95 IQ that are doing a lot of acid, and now you're going into the retard. I mean, you are actually crossing the line and getting into being a retarded person at this point.
I think that with all the drugs that are around, that people seem to be the kind of new designer drugs that are around. I mean, from my own personal experience, I think acid is probably the safest drug.
No, it's one of the most dangerous. You can walk into any psychiatric hospital in any country.
It depends on who's taking it, though, doesn't it?
No, not at all. It's purely a dose phenomenon.
It's got to be in very safe circumstances. And
no, it has nothing to do with having a bad trip. It's the people we worry about most that continue to have good trips because they keep exposing their brain to it. Then 10 years later, they end up in psychiatric hospitals chronically because their moods really don't respond to treatment the way
yeah, but I mean, how much acid do you have to take before that happens?
That's what we don't know. And
that's what I mean.
And for some people, it might be 10 hits. It's certainly anything over 60, 70 hits, and it's certainly any use before the age of 15 is highly associated with it.
And I think if you're doing it like you say every couple of months, that's too much.
You're getting there. You're certainly putting yourself at risk. You're putting yourself in harm's way.
Right.
There's one that's really new right now and real commonly used is ketamine. It's coming out. All of a sudden, last couple of months, boom, it's back again.
Elephant tranquilizer or something, isn't it?
Well, it's a dissociative. No, they actually use it in adolescents sometimes, but we don't know what the long-term effects of that are going to be. It uses the glutamate receptor, which we are concerned when overstimulated is associated with brain damage because that's a receptor that causes something we call excitotoxicity. When you stimulate a cell too much, it dies.
Really?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Basically,
I think that's what's happened to my penis.
Excitotoxicity.
You take ketamine, you can't stand up.
Have you tried that?
By mistake, yeah.
Okay.
I thought I was buying something else.
You thought you thought you were getting crack and the bastard slipped you some cash?
I thought I was buying an ecstasy and it turned out to be ketamine.
And what did it do to you?
I went for a dance and my legs didn't work.
Really?
Yeah.
It kind of takes you out of your body. You're not connected with your body anymore, basically.
But you didn't suffer any medical complications or anything like that.
What?
I have not seen any medical complication with ketamine yet.
Okay, but don't worry, it'll show up. It was just like I remember
10 years,
when X came out. X was legal. X was fine. It was just being used by therapists to stimulate relationships a little bit.
It's still used that's what's used in Switzerland now, isn't it? It's prescribed. It's not illegal in Switzerland. Doctors prescribe ecstasy.
No prescribed anymore because it's known to be very dangerous. Very dangerous.
What is?
Ecstasy.
No, but doctors prescribe it in
I don't
Switzerland.
think they would prescribe it.
No, they do. It's legal.
It may be legal.
Prescription.
It may be legal, but there are lots of legal drugs that can cause damage.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the drugs we prescribe are very dangerous.
No, in a controlled...
But it's the one that has been shown conclusively to cause some pretty serious anatomic destruction of the brain.
Really?
The amygdala gets disrupted, and there's new and novel connections between the brain cells in that part of the brain that aren't natural.
All right. I'm getting a contact high here. I can barely think.
Just say no.
Alex, 15, you're on Loveline.
Drew, Adam, love you guys. And,
love you.
Thanks, Adam. Anyway, I got a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
I was born with cerebral palsy,
and
I was just wondering if that would affect my performance in bed,
I think it'd help it.
Well, how is your cerebral palsy manifesting?
Oh, it's really minor. It's just in my right leg. I got surgery on it about 5 years ago.
Do you have some spasticity in that leg or what?
There's just a real minor limp, and when I stand up straight, my right knee kind of turns in a little bit.
I don't think it will affect anything.
Okay.
Well, have you found as though it is a problem? Why do you think it's going to be a problem?
I don't know. I was wondering that a couple weeks ago.
Do you masturbate now?
Yeah.
And that functions normally?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds all right to me.
Which hand do you have the spasticity in when it comes to your penis, the right or the left?
The right.
Okay. That's all right. All right. You may want to switch hands every once in a while. It's like getting a new girlfriend.
Lasts longer.
Yes. All right, Alex, so you'll be all right.
Okay.
All right, everything else fine?
Everything else is fine, Adam.
Okay. Do you have any medication or anything you take for the palsy?
No.
No, I've gotten surgery after surgery. And
what do they do with the surgery?
It's split tendon transfer.
Tendon transfers.
Heel cord transfer or something, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
They cut one of the tendons in my right heel, basically.
Wow.
Sounds like minimal problem. I think you'll be just fine, Alex.
Alex, it sounds more psychological, really, than anything at the moment. I mean, I think, the doctor was just saying, if you're masturbating, and that's fine, well, it's just going to be replaced by something rather better.
Right. Like a furry hand.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
Not too much fur, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, you'll be fine. But don't worry, you'll suck the first time out anyway.
Okay.
But don't blame it on the palsy. That's just you. Nobody does a good job sexually right out of the chute. They really don't. Andy, Andy, you were good the first time out?
I was fantastic.
You were. You had a little trouble pronouncing fantastic.
Elliot was first.
I was shown the ropes by an older woman, so yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Outside of the family?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to check. How old was she?
21.
And how old were you?
13.
Really?
Months.
This kind of stuff always...
Somebody spank me.
This stuff goes on in England quite a bit. I don't know why this sounds familiar.
Sex?
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, all those people. You were 13.
Oh, 14.
Who was the 21-year-old?
Just a girl. Yeah.
Local.
Obviously.
It wasn't a neighbor or anything
No,
like
it's
that?
like
Babysitter?
my friend's older sister, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And did she take pity on you or look at you as sort of easy prey, or what do you think was behind that?
I don't know. I think, she just took a shine and...
She wanted to get her rocks on.
Yeah, she didn't have a boyfriend at the time.
Did you,
I'll show him.
did you fall in love with her?
I think I had a bit of a boyhood crush, yeah.
Right.
But
now,
not for long. Yeah. When she showed me how it was done, then I went off and...
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you have many episodes with her?
No, a couple.
But enough to sort of cut your teeth, as it were.
Oh, yeah, enough to get it right.
Yeah, guys, I really think guys need that, because if you look at it this way, if you're a 15 or 16-year-old guy and you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground, and you are trying to have sex with a 15-year-old girl who's never been with someone, then it is the blind leading the blind. I mean, you're liable to take an eye out. I mean, you don't know what you're doing with that penis. You really don't. Someone's going to get one in the nostril. You don't know what is going on.
Barking up the wrong tree and all that.
Absolutely. And thank God they have pornography these days, Drew. The kids can see exactly what's going on. I mean, it's like it's a clinic these people are putting on.
Unless it's one of those naff Electric Blue videos.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you mean the softcore stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. And I hate going to a hotel and paying $7 for the Spectravision and getting a cut version.
Yeah, you have to keep on getting the freebie and taking it off about 30 seconds later, and then you get quite a lot of the movie.
Yeah, but they still cut up the hardcore stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that they have another camera there. The decent one.
They do now. I've been on the set.
The good camera.
I've been on the set of the porn movie.
Yeah?
They do one camera for the hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
And the other camera just looks at the guy's brow sweat.
Yeah.
The entire time. It's just focused on the guy's forehead. So be honest. If you guys, when you've masturbated watching pornography, have you ever...
Looked at the forehead.
No, I mean, have you ever timed it wrong where you achieve climax right where they show the guy sweating and grunting, just his whole face taking up the screen?
I think I was just at the end of the tape.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
I'm a Catholic boy, I don't masturbate.
Wait, I'm sorry, Ann was whispering in my ear. All right, so, Drew, enough about masturbating?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to play one of my favorite Smith songs in just a couple of seconds, but we'll see if we can squeeze in a call. Jason, 18, you're on Loveline.
Hello.
Hey.
I was wondering how long it takes to get over your first love.
Well, you got to kill yourself.
Until you get the next one. I remember when I first fell in love, I was only about 16. How old are you?
I'm 18.
18. I think I was 15 or 16. And I remember getting the bus home after seeing this girl. And I just, I might as well have just been in a cell in prison. I just felt so weird. Are you going through that now or something?
No, it's been almost a year since she dumped me.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I've been with other people since then, but...
And nobody comes up to scratch?
Just little things here and there.
It is difficult, but the great thing is, and I mean, I'm 34, so I've got a bit of experience, and things do get better. And I know it's easy to say in this situation where we're not actually going through what you must be going through, but, the grass does grow again.
It's a good healer, isn't it?
But it is definitely the most profound form of depression there is.
Yeah, because...
It really is. It's all-encompassing. It just takes over your body.
Is this the first time that you've felt like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just other little hoes here and there and shit.
Pardon?
Just other hoes here and there, but this is the first time I actually love.
You really know how to treat a woman, don't you?
Well, that's what they were. I mean, give me a break. For 10 minutes before they want to go and do it, that's what they are.
All right, Jason.
Yeah.
Thank God you haven't turned against women in general, that this experience hasn't made you bitter. Jason, listen to me. Here's the deal. Here's what I tell people, because I went through a year, maybe more, of just sheer depression. And I was not some wet behind the ear 18-year-old. I was like 22 when I was in a serious funk over a relationship. And you're going to be miserable. That is my first statement. Let's not lie to the lad. You will be miserable. Here's the point. Do not waste the year that you mourn by sitting home, smoking pot, eating Cheetos, and watching too much daytime TV. Force yourself to participate in life.
Has to be done.
Go to school, go to work. Do not waste this, because you don't want to look back in 10 years and say, after you're married and have 8 kids with someone else, you don't want to look back at this year from 18 and a half to 20 and say, I just sat there and did nothing.
Yeah, but
so if you're going to be miserable, at least do something.
And most people do, but the fact that you're actually confronting it now and that you're phoning here, I think is quite a good start. Anyway, the fact that you want to kind of sort something out about it instead of just sitting there and just thinking, well, that's just the way it is. But you know, as I said before, it's easy for me to sit here and say it gets better, but it does.
But as well, listen, now you've got to sort your attitude out as well, because if you like, it sounds to me like probably the girls you've been making them miserable as well, because you know what I mean?
The hose.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You got to sort your attitude.
All right, so Jason, it will get better. Everyone goes through it, and this is your turn, and you will come out that much stronger when you're done, or you'll be a broken shell of a man. It's one or the other. All right, now, for one of my favorite all-time Smith songs, you got it queued up, Mike? Big Mouth Strikes Again. All right, here with Andy and Mike from the Smiths, the convention, the Big Smiths convention. And really, ladies and gents, this will be your only time. These guys pretty much hang out in England. They don't come out here that often. You'll not find them again. And besides, they're never going to associate with the public unless you come out and find them. Don't bother them at restaurants, is what I'm saying. The convention is Sunday. It's wait a minute, it's 2 to 11, I'm sorry. And it's going to be down at the Pasadena Convention Center, which is on 300 East Green Street in Pasadena. You really should be able to find it. What's that, Ann? Oh, it's sold out. All right, so stay home?
See us at the Viper Room instead on Saturday.
Oh, you're going to be in the Viper Room?
I think so.
Well, why didn't you say anything?
I just did.
All right. Okay, shut his mic off, Engineer Mike. I don't know what you guys do when you're in England radio, but you don't yell at the host here stateside. You're going to be at the Vibe Room, seriously?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, mic's off.
Okay. Oh, really? All right.
Just hanging out. Yeah.
Oh, just hanging out?
Yeah.
Oh, are you going to be jamming or
no, just ligging.
No, I'm just going to be hanging.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they're going to be at the Denny's in Covina on Thursday night, and then look, who cares if you're at the Viper Room if you're not going to be up on stage?
Yeah,
you're going to be up on stage?
I care. I'm going to have a great night.
All right. So go to the Viper Room. Who are you going to see at the Viper Room?
Hey, I don't know. We're just going to go down there and just have a laugh. But I'm just thinking if anybody can't get in there, then come down and say hello.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
So you're just being,
You're just being
polite.
You're being friendly.
Being nice,
I'm sorry. I misinterpreted that.
You're welcome.
All right. All right. Let's move on. Rick.
Yeah, how you doing?
26. You are on the Loveline with the Smiths.
Yeah, I'd just like to talk to Mike and Andy, and I'd like to say that I was always the biggest Smiths fan I've ever known. And I first discovered the Smiths back in, 1985.
Yeah.
And at the time, everybody listened to, Van Halen and Def Leppard and stuff like that. You know? And
did your friends beat you up and call you a fag?
No, well...
Why not? Did you ever come and see the Smiths?
Come on. I lived in California. The Smiths didn't only tour out here. I mean, that's my big regret. I've seen Morrissey twice. But, it's not the same thing, you know? I mean, once the Smiths broke up...
I toured here.
Do what?
I toured here with the Smiths.
Yeah, the Smiths came once, but, I mean...
We came a couple of times.
Yeah. Did they come a couple of times?
Oh, you missed them anyway.
Right, Rick, stop telling the band where they've been.
I don't know. Anyway.
It's really a dead-end street for you.
Yeah, I've got a bit of Alzheimer's. I don't remember actually being here at all.
No, you're right. We've never been.
Why hit a place like the United States when you have Puerto Rico and so many bigger countries and places to go to on this map?
Yeah, at least if you're in the United States, you wouldn't go to California.
No, there's nothing going on
here. No, last
here.
time we came, it was closed.
We had to stop off for fuel.
Right, you just gas up. You stay on the tarmac. You don't get out. All right, Rick. Yeah, they have bigger fish to fry than the United States.
Yeah, well, of course. But I'd like to know if Mike is still doing anything with the Buzzcocks.
No, I'm not actually. I'm working with a guy called Pete Wiley at the moment.
Okay.
Who had a couple of a couple of big hits in England. The Story of the Blues. And a track called Sinful. But I'm working with him at the moment. I just did some demos before I came away over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, that's good. And, do any of you guys have, like, a favorite Smith song or album or anything?
Yeah.
And what are they?
Sorry, it's, I'm a big fan of Rank, the live album, and also Strange Ways, the last album.
Yeah.
I think Rank really kind of encapsulated the way that the Smiths sounded live, because I think a lot of people, you know, the miserable tag, and everyone said, oh yeah, they're really down and pretty miserable blokes. But I think if you listen to that album, it certainly doesn't sound miserable. I mean, that's just a misnomer by lazy journalism, really.
Rank is a great live CD, and a lot of the times when you hear live CD, the songs are a little disappointing because you get used to it a certain way from hearing the produced version of it over the radio or on a CD, and then you hear it live and it sort of misses a beat. But this is just as good as the original, or just as good as the produced stuff, plus the energy of, like I like the Big Mouth song better on Rank than I do now the produced version. It's a little faster.
Studio album. My favorite studio album was probably Queen Is Dead, though. I thought that was a good album.
Where'd you do Rank? Or was that all over?
Different ones.
Kilburn.
Oh,
Kilburn National.
I thought it was all different ones.
Just one gig.
Just took one big gig.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
It was actually recorded by the BBC.
I've listened to it.
Oh, really?
Just for transmission. And then when we heard it, we thought, well, it's good enough to put out as an album for ourselves.
It was our sound engineer, actually.
He remixed
He
them.
culled the tapes.
Yeah, somebody did a real good job with it because for a live CD, it's real clear and real nice. John, 18, you're on Loveline.
Hi, this is a question for Drew.
Yeah, John.
Okay, I was smoking marijuana one night, and I had done it before, and we were in the car and just letting the smoke, just what they call it, hotboxing, I guess, if you know.
What is hotboxing?
It's where you just get in the car and close the doors and just smoke until it just fills up with smoke, and we were doing that, and
this is the intellect of this nation of ours. That's why you guys will be happy Sunday when you get back on the plane.
Was that a big
lot of
car?
guys sitting and filling cars up with.
How big was your car?
it was a truck.
Oh, that's a big. You got a problem.
And so I was sitting there smoking, and
I've brown boxed a car before, but that's a totally different thing. That's when you break wind.
Yeah, a brown nose.
Oh, we were. So I was feeling kind of weird, so I stepped outside, and I was like dizzy, and like I didn't know where I was, and I was just.
That's because you were stoned.
That's why you smoke pot, John, so you get dizzy and don't know where you are.
No, well, it was different. I started like freaking out, like I was yelling, and I was.
All right, but it didn't have anything to do with the way you ingested it, did it? It just had to do with the fact you were high.
It's the dose that he ingested. I have seen several cases now of toxic psychoses associated with heavy ingestions of marijuana.
Yeah, but you're not going to get any more from filling up your Pinto with pot smoke than you would by sucking on a bong.
I suppose not, but
no,
maybe you wouldn't have...
Because you're not even going to have a gap in between tokes.
Now that you can't control it.
Well, that's true.
You can't control it. You're sitting there, you don't realize
that's
how much...
issue, is it, really? It's like, it sounds like a guy...
I tried smoking it.
I had just treated a patient...
In a big room with the window slightly ajar.
I just treated a patient a couple weeks ago who came in wildly psychotic. I mean, it's a very, very wild, florid psychosis and a lot of agitation and crazy motor activity.
Because of marijuana?
Yeah.
How long did it last?
Probably, well, I don't know, because it was late night and then...
it couldn't really do
that. It lasts about 6 to 8 hours in the stuff I've seen.
Right. Well, is it? I was wondering if it's permanent or.
No. But it.
I mean, I don't feel it anymore. But I feel like I'm kind of. I've heard it's called anxiety attack.
So you're still having panic attacks?
Well, no. I feel like I don't dare touch the stuff anymore or drink beer because I'm like afraid that'll happen again.
It could happen again.
Good.
So I mean, will it have like? Has it had a effect on my brain or anything?
I don't think so. No, I don't think you have to worry this will create chronic problems.
It does like you had a panic attack or something.
Well,
if you do the same thing again, then it might happen again.
It might happen again, but it's more than I suspect. If John has what I think he has, it's more than a panic attack because they really get disorganized and disoriented.
Yeah.
A panic attack, you feel like you're going to die. It's a miserable experience, but you don't really truly get disorganized. And the behaviors they manifest with these, what I have seen, have been just wild.
Let me ask you this question, Drew. A lot of people cannot handle marijuana. I know a lot of guys and have had a lot of friends that say, I can't do it, I get paranoid, I get weird.
Totally different.
All right, but we're shifting gears here for a second.
Right.
Those people who say, I can't handle it, I get paranoid, I don't want anything to do with it, I get weird. I start thinking that, the walls are coming in on me. Is that because they have a sort of chemical difference than a guy who really loves it? Or
chemical,
biological? It's the same with beer.
It has nothing to do with their personality.
It doesn't agree with some people.
It has almost nothing to do with the personality.
Okay. Still, high-strung people don't do well on marijuana. No. No.
You know what? It's whether you get that opioid effect or not. If you get it and you're high strung, it's good. You'll like it even more because it will also reduce some of your.
Well, maybe
anxiety.
high strung people aren't so preconditioned for the opioid effect or something. Because all the high strung people I know cannot handle marijuana. Kimberly.
Hi.
19. You're on Loveline.
Yeah. Hi.
Hiya. Sorry, Annie. Yes. Go ahead.
No problem.
I have a problem with my boyfriend, and the problem is that he works very odd hours on different days. He's on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
He's a porn actor?
No.
No. What does he do?
He does bodyguarding.
Uh-huh.
And he used to do personal security.
Just random bodies or these famous rich people?
He does freelance, so he does a lot of different things.
Uh-huh.
And the problem is that he usually works night shifts, and sometimes he'll work day shifts.
Now, is he a real bodyguard, or does he wear a windbreaker with a big number on the back of it?
No, he wears a uniform, and it says, like, security on it or whatever.
All right, so he's like a $6 an hour guy.
No, $30.
How old is he?
He's 27.
And he's not the guy in the front of the concert not enjoying the concert.
No.
You know what always strikes me about concerts? I think they torture the guards because they will get a guy who absolutely has no interest in whatever band it is they're playing, and he will put him up against the stage, and he will sit there leaning up against the speaker in a place that a fan would kill to be to, and
shaking his fists at me.
Just not even tap his foot once the entire time.
We've cut them all in his ears, cringing, going.
Yeah. So, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Your question was?
It's just he's always expecting me to always be waiting for him whenever he comes home, just at any time to be ready to take his clothes off, put on his pajamas, get him ready for bed like he's a baby. And he likes me to give him back rubs and foot massages and everything. And even when I'm sick, and I've been sick the past 3 days, and he's been working the past 3 days and coming home at odd hours and expecting me to do this for him.
Do you have to wind him and stuff like that?
What's wind?
You know, when you get
baby.
Wind him.
Belch him or burp it.
I just say wind.
They call him wind him. I like that.
Get the wind up and all that, Does he wear a nappy?
So, Kimberly, he's kind of immature.
Well, he's not immature. It's just he thinks that after a long day of work for him, I should be taking care of him.
He wants a mommy. He doesn't want a wife or girlfriend.
That's wrong. He keeps complaining he doesn't want
It
one.
doesn't sound bad.
He doesn't want a mommy, yet he's acting like he does.
He just likes people to take care of.
He wants a mommy.
We all want that, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
all right.
But that's not a healthy relationship, though.
All right, so what do you tell him?
Usually I just tell him, I don't like it, but he's always telling me, work comes first. I got to pay the bills before I can see you or even bother with you.
You guys are living together?
Off and on.
Off and on.
Because I go to school, so I'm usually, with him on all the weekends, and I'm at home during the week.
All right.
Just refuse to do that stuff you don't like doing and see what happens.
Well, it's not that I don't like doing it.
All right. Now, listen. All right. I've had enough of Kimberly.
She offended you in some way?
No, but it's just, though, I hate these questions.
Well,
he asks me for a back rub. I don't want to give it to him, so I tell him, but he says no. And then we say, all right, well, just tell him you don't want to give him the back rub. Then they go, well, it's not that I mind giving him the back. All right, then shut the hell up and go call someone else's
don't
show.
Don't give him a back rub, yeah.
That's right. Just, if you don't want to do it, tell him you don't want to do it. If he has a big problem with it, then you compromise. You know what I mean? You give him a back rub, he gives you a back rub or a foot rub or something like that. Okay? All right. Next. And, Drew, what is the next call we're going to take tonight?
I don't know yet.
Find something we can gamble on.
Let's look at it. We'll find something.
All right, I promise gambling with the Smiths when we return. Loveline. The Smiths are here tonight. Andy Rourke and Mike Joyce are in here, and they're doing a thing that I'm not even going to talk about anymore because it's sold out. So it's a moot point. All right, let's move forward here. Drew, Mario, 27, you're on Loveline.
Hi, I have a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
Okay, I tapped my phone for the past 3 months. It's been tapped, and I found out that my wife was having an affair with another person, and her last period was November the 24th, and since it was tapped, I knew she had an affair with this person around the 14th of, the last time she had her period was 24th of November. And I knew that she had an affair on the 12th of December, around the 12th of December. Now, my question is, I didn't have any sex with her.
Are you tapping her vagina as well, or are you just checking the trash can for tampons? How are you sussing out this period?
Well, I knew she had her period on the 24th of November because she's living with me. Well, she was not anymore. But when she stayed out for about 4 or 5 days. When she came back, she called a friend. So anyways, the point is I knew that she had an affair between those 3 days that she was out.
Right. What's your question?
So my question is, I didn't have sex with her. Her period is supposed to have, she should have had her period again.
All right, so you think the guy she was cheating on you with was the father?
Right. Her period is supposed to be on the 20th of December.
All right, we understand the period, the periodical chart you're putting in front of us.
Her breast was enlarged. They were getting enlarged and stuff. So I had her admit that.
Are you a gynecologist, Mario, or a family counselor? What do you do for a living?
You had her admit what?
No man knows more about the period than Mario.
I'm a pharmacy technician.
Oh, okay.
You had her admit.
So the deal is this: she had a pregnancy test done. She didn't tell me about it, so she had it done December the 30th.
Yeah.
So if she would have been pregnant on the 12th of December, about the 12th of December, would that test come out negative, as it did come negative, despite that her breasts were starting to get enlarged by the end of the month, and she's really fat-chested, and her breast was just really getting big. And very noticeably big.
Do you understand the question?
Yeah, he's trying to figure out the timeline, because I think what Mario is saying is the MacGyver of the vagina, this Mario, knows more about the vagina than any man alive. He's trying to say that she had a pregnancy test, it came out negative, and then it came out positive later on down the road, but he thinks this other guy knocked her up earlier, so could it have been negative and she still was pregnant?
Yes. The answer is yes, Mario.
Because it takes a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Okay, now I want to know what factor does her breast play in all this?
Well, it's the boob factor. I mean, that's quite obvious.
Can that give me an assurance is what I'm saying?
No, it can't guarantee anything.
No, that's not going to hold up in court. The bra defense, it's not going to work. Lord knows I've tried. Oh, boy, many a court case I've lost arguing the size of breasts. All right, so Mario, are you divorced from this woman? You separated?
Well, I'm separated right now, and the divorce is supposed to be terminated around 10 days from now.
Okay, you mean executed?
Well, it takes 6 months from the day you file it.
Okay, so you have no plans of getting back together with her or her breast?
No, definitely not. But
and she's seeing the pregnancy through to term?
She wants to go through the pregnancy.
And claims it's yours?
She claims it's mine.
All right,
you'll be able to test when the baby arrives.
Yes, there's simple ways of doing it. You simply dunk the infant in a barrel of water, and then you measure how much water has escaped from the barrel. Then, you then urinate into a beaker. Now, what they do is they'll take a graduated cylinder and they'll compare the amount of urine in the beaker to the amount that escaped from the barrel, and they'll also have the other suitor urinate in the barrel as well.
In the barrel, not in the beaker.
Not in the beaker. That's where a lot of things go wrong scientifically.
I also have a follow-up question.
Please.
That's similar. Okay.
Similar. Has to do with a toxic shock syndrome or what?
Breast size, bra size?
When her and I were together, when we were married, we agreed that if she were to become pregnant, that if either one of us wanted to terminate the pregnancy, we would. If she said no, even if I wanted to have the baby, I would have to go. The no would win, in other words.
Well, that's right. That also wouldn't hold up in a court of law.
And you also said in sickness and health, forever will you last. And that was a year and a half ago. So a lot of things are said, not many of them meant.
And that's her decision at the end of the day, isn't it?
Absolutely. All right, Mario, listen, we gotta go. Good luck. Better luck in your next relationship, and the proof will be in the DNA test.
Yep.
When
HLA typing. Yeah.
When the infant is born.
Yeah.
Do they have to draw blood from the infant?
Yeah.
Here's what they ought to do. Quite frankly, if it is a male, do the circumcision and get the blood sample at the same time. No use traumatizing the child twice.
Kill two birds.
Yeah. Take what's left of the foreskin right into the lab. All right. Drew, again, the Dr. Drew School of Radio with the head nod. All right, what song are we hearing?
Silent Night.
There's a light that never goes out? Ah, from the Smiths. Thanks for that, Engineer Mike. All right, the Smiths, and we will be back right after this. All right, just a few seconds left with Andy and Mike. Let's talk to Nicole, who's been on hold for 65 minutes. Nicole.
Hi.
Hiya.
I've been on hold for a while.
I know, poor Nicole.
I know, we saw it on the screen there, and I
it's
requested
all right.
that we get you through. Oh, is it? All right,
Oh,
bye.
I'm such a big fan anyway.
All right.
Yeah, I just had to talk to you.
Tell the band you love them, and then I'm going to hang up on you.
Well, I love you guys.
Okay,
I love your music.
Thanks, Nicole.
All right. Were you heavily influenced by the Smiths?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to get into why. Jason, 24.
Just want to ask Andy. I think one of the best bass lines of all time has got to be a little song off of our the World album that was just released in Great Britain, and I think you know what I'm talking about. It's called Rubber Ring.
Oh, yeah,
nice
one. Yeah, nice one. I like that one.
You play the bass, Jason?
Huh?
Do you play the bass?
No, not at all. In fact, I love the drumming on Strange Ways, a song called The Death of a Disco Dancer as well, if Mike could talk about that.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
A man with taste.
He was just saying during the commercial he thought he was brilliant.
I hope somebody talks to me about it.
All right, Jason.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, most of the drumming on the Smiths is fairly restricted, and I think he went off on that song. It was probably a liberating experience.
It was, you're right, actually, but I had my arm in plaster cast for a lot of the Smiths time, so...
They didn't want to make things too complicated unless, if Mike went down, they could just, get a chimp or something and put him in there, and the band could continue to tour. You understand, Jason?
I think I do.
All right.
Not really. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Jason. Bye.
All right. Andy, Mike, thank you very much for coming in. We do appreciate it. It was our pleasure. I would plug the convention, but it's sold out. And that is a testament to the power of the band even 10 years after
It's amazing,
the
and none of us are dead.
And you know what? All right, now you're all dying. That's it. You've cursed yourself. No, but here's the other thing, and we're way out of time, but I want to say this. You're 33 and 34. The band's been broken up for 10 years.
Yeah,
how old were you guys when you got started?
17.
17.
Yeah.
All right. Still having sex with the older broad, Andy, or you moved on? Okay. Thank you very much. We will be back next time on Sunday. Dr. Drew is halfway home by now, and for Dr. Drew, this is Adam Carolla saying mahalo.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed herein are not necessarily limo service for Loveline guests provided by Fox Limousine. And it certainly wasn't for me, Loveline producer Ann Wilkins.